Welcome back to another episode of WordPress Tutorials with Pixelweb. In this episode, we're going to start the process of building our starter theme that we can use for our website, a client's website, or a theme that you can place on the WordPress repository for the world to see and use. In order to get started, we're going to need to start our local server, since we're going to be testing out the functionality on our computer. So start that off. And then in this episode, we're covering the three main files that you have to create for WordPress themes. And that is the style.css file, the functions.php file, and the index.php file. The style.css file is a very important file. It has to be in the root directory of your WordPress theme. And this provides some information for the WordPress core to parse and to determine what's there. So we have the name of the theme, the URL to where it can be located online, the author website, description of the theme itself, the version number, the licensing info. These are tags that if you're going to place it on the WordPress repository, they're very important to put there. You should have theme specific tags, so that way when a person is looking for particular functionality or styling, they will potentially find your theme. And then you need a text domain, and that I'll go into more detail later on what that is, but you should give it a name that is the same as your theme name and the URL name and everything. And then I just took this from the WordPress codex, just to add that there as well. So this is what you need: the style.css, functions.php, and the index.php file. They're going to be the three files that you see here in our text editor inside the root directory of our theme. So now let's go back over here. You see the themes that are actively installed on our WordPress installation, which is YouTube, and you see the location of them. And if you look into those, you see you also have more files that will be there, and we'll add some of these later on. So these are the files that we're starting off with. This is required by WordPress. So now let's go over to the dashboard. All right, so in the dashboard, if you go to Appearance and Themes, you're going to see the installed themes that you have, as I showed you in the folder structure 30 seconds ago. These are the themes that you have installed. Actively installed is the 2016. Then you have your inactive themes, which is the starter theme, which is ours, 2015 and 2014. If you look at the theme details, you get the screenshot. We have to develop ours. And then you get the title of it, the version number, the team or the author, the description for it, and the tags. And then it shows you some additional functionality down here. And we'll go into further detail on that later on. If you do it for ours, you see we have a little bit less information since we haven't built it out yet. We have to do our screenshot. This is our description. And right now the only options we have is we can activate it, which you shouldn't do because there's nothing there. We can live preview it. You try to live preview it, nothing's going to happen because we have not put any code in the proper files. So let's just X out of that, X out of here, and let's just live preview the 2015 theme. And here you can see how your website would look if you installed this particular theme. This is a great way to view what it will look like without actually activating it. So the front, the people visiting your website will not see this while you're just previewing it. So if you like it, then you can save and activate it. All right, so this is in the theme section. So now what I want you to do is install a plugin, and it's going to be the theme check plugin. This plugin, I'll show you how it's done. You just go to the add plugins link, and just right here it'll be the first option. You see it's already installed on mine, but it'll be the first option that you have to look at. This is a very popular tool to use when developing a new theme. It helps you identify themes that are required to be found on your website, so on your theme. So if we don't have specific information, then that it'll notify us that we have to do that. Since I already have it installed, you just go to Appearance, and then Theme Check will be the link. And then we're going to just check out our starter theme. Let's check it. And then you see it gives us a warning. We should enable this in our WP config file to true, so that way we can get debug notices, etc. And these are the errors that are found. So these are some of the things that are required, some warnings. As you see, it's saying warning, no screenshot detected, so we should do that. These are some of the CSS that it's requiring us to have, and we'll add that in the next episode. And these are some of the functions and title, template tags and stuff like that that are required. And we're going to be adding these in the appropriate files in the tutorials to come. So this is a good plugin to use for that purpose. There's another one that we can add. I'm going to add that now, and it's the developer plugin. Alright, so this one's built by Automatic. It's a plugin which helps WordPress developers develop. So it's a good one to install. You can view more details about it. Don't worry about this warning, it does work. It's just sometimes they just haven't updated the information to verify that it works. But I've tested it out and it does work. So you can just take a look at it, and then if you want to install it, you can install it. This is good to have because it'll give you some basic help when you're developing your theme. So if you activate that one, it's going to ask you, what are you developing here? Are you developing a plugin for a self-hosted WordPress installation? Are you doing one for a self-hosted WordPress installation theme? Or are you doing one for the WordPress.com VIP site? Since we're doing a theme, we'll check that off and we'll save the changes. And then it'll give us some recommended plugins that we could install. So these are things that we'll take a look at. So debug bar console, cron jobs. We can install almost all of these. The rewrite rules inspector, log deprecated notices. This is very important. I like this one a lot because it lets you know if you're using deprecated files, functions, arguments, and identifies where the deprecated functionality is being used. So that helps you make sure that your WordPress theme is current. If you want to look at the log view, you could do that. There's this monster widget one, user switching if you're going to be checking user permissions. Regenerate thumbnails is a very good one to use because if you're changing themes, the way it handles images can change, and so you need to regenerate the thumbnails from that. Simply show IDs is good. And then if you want to do theme test drive, you can do that as well. And beta testers is just for the beta releases of WordPress. So those are some of the additional plugins you can add, and then we could just get developing. So if you see in the tools section, you can see the developer plugin there. That's where we just were. And then if you look at the main dashboard, you're going to see that we have anywhere within these links, you have these additional links up on top, the debug, developer, etc. So that's a good plugin to have, as we'll be utilizing it across this tutorial series. So basically what we covered here is the three main files that are required by WordPress, which is the style.css file, the functions.php file, and the index.php file. The comment section that is required on the top so that WordPress can know what your theme is, and the structure, the folder structure. So what we're going to do now is inside our starter theme here, I want to just add right now, before we go any further, a couple more folders. So I'm going to put in new folder, and I'm just going to label this one JS for a JavaScript folder. Another new folder, we could name this one CSS, and then we'll do another new folder for our includes, so we can say includes. And then if you decide to have any images directly in your theme, you can do that as well. So IMG folder, And then if you want to separate layouts, you can add a folder, like a partials folder, like for, and you'll see what I mean later on in the tutorial when we start implementing that. That's when you start providing different layouts to be utilized. Sometimes, you know, you might have a font folder also, so we'll just create that here just in case. If we don't use it, then we'll just get rid of that later on. But for now, this is the basic folder structure in your starter theme. In the starter theme, we have our 3 mandatory files, and then we have the folders that will hold our very specific files for code to be used within the website. This would be for JavaScript, obviously, includes additional functionality, images, fonts, and additional style sheets that might be required, and then additional layouts for it. So in this episode, we just covered the basics of the folder structure, the files that are required, and we demoed how it, you know, doesn't really work right now on your dashboard, and but just wanted to show you the 2 plugins that are good to use, which is the theme check plugin and the developer plugin, as it'll help us, you know, move forward in the process of developing our theme. Hopefully you found it helpful and informative. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions, please leave a comment below and subscribe to our channel, because we're going to be building out this starter theme that you could use for your website, a client's website, or a theme that you can, you know, place in the WordPress repository so that people can use. And again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.